Hi folks, Dwayne from Grandpa's Garage, the little garage that could. Thought I'd bring you in on the next piece that I'm working on. Started yesterday. Um, One of the things I needed to be doing is doing some metal replacement on the lower door sections of the 34 Terraplane 3-window coupe conversion. I started yesterday because removing the door a bit of a challenge, and it takes time because you got to get the pins out in order to take the door off, and that would have not made for great content, but I thought I'd bring you back today and catch up where I left off. I didn't get too far on metalworking, but I've got a couple different little tips and tricks, I guess you might call it, for metal shaping and metal working. And yeah, so what I'll do right now is I'm just going to reposition the camera a little bit so that you can get a better view of what I'm doing. You don't need to be necessarily seeing my face. The information is more about what I've been doing with the door, and I hope this is something that is helpful and inspiring in whatever way. Yeah, but we'll just reposition the camera and I'll be right back. Okay, so you can see here now, I started on the very bottom here. What I started with is I created a template, just a paper template, and you can see I've got like a line on it and that sort of thing. I'm just going to show you very quickly how I did that, just so that you can hopefully use it for something you're working on. Now, I know there's lots of other people have done this and they've shown it on their videos, but for the sake of my video, I thought I'd show you anyways. I call this my dirty finger technique. Okay, so you place your paper over the area, and the area that you want to get a profile line on, then it's a really simple technique. Go wherever you got some good dirt on the part or on the floor or whatever it takes, and then all you literally do, hold your paper down and rub your dirty fingers across the area that you're trying to duplicate. Now, I'm not sure if that's really visible, but I know from this side of the camera I can see it clearly where the lines are. There's the top line, which is actually a step down, and then there's the bottom line, which is the edge of the door skin. This will give me a very accurate line to work from, which then after I did that, I cut out on the line and marked, which gave me this template that I made. And then from that I can create the part. So you see it's just very, very simple technique. Very handy for creating an accurate line on things. Now, one of the other things that I did want to show you is a couple little tools that I find extremely useful. Here's one right here. This is a metal gauge. They're not very expensive. Super handy. What I find is I like to try and match the gauge of the metal of the part that I'm welding. So this is, I'm using this constantly. I like to make sure, like I use a lot of recycled metals, and sometimes you get caught where it's not maybe 18 gauge that you're looking for. It'll be 20 gauge, or it might be, you know, generally I got a pretty good touch for figuring the gauge on stuff just from experience, but I like to confirm what I'm doing. And the one thing that I did, because I'm, you know, you want to do things quickly, and eyesight's getting to be a bit of an issue, is I actually marked on my gauge where the 18 gauge mark is. So now that gives me, at a moment's notice, it tells me where the 18 gauge is, and if it's different, the piece of metal that you're wanting to work with, it'll tell you whether to go up or down. But again, super handy when you're doing that kind of stuff. It's very difficult to weld together two different thicknesses of metal. That's where you get lots of warping, and just, yeah, you burn through on welds and that sort of thing. So handy thing to have that. Now the other thing I have is these little guys, which are just a little spring-loaded clip. I bought them at the dollar store. I think they were like $10 for 30 of them or something like that. They're super cheap, but I find that I'm using those lots, in particular if I'm doing layout like that with the paper, just to hold it on, or you can use tape, whatever you want. But just thought I'd show that, and if it's something that helps somebody out, fantastic. Okay, so what I did on this bottom piece, after I got the template, and I cut out my metal, and drew the line on here, drew the step down line. I need something to point with here. Give me a moment. Now you can see on here, this comes across on the flat to the start of the bend, and then there's a second line there, which is the step. I wanted to be able to determine that, and so I did a couple test pieces, and then ran this through on my bead roller, and now I end up with a very accurate step down. And the step down is there intentionally so that when I replace the door skin will come around and wrap over top, and then will be crimped down with the tool I have for bringing the panels together. So that's one little thing that I started working on. I've tried to remove any unnecessary stuff on the door that I don't really need. Now the next piece that I wanted to work at, this is just basically got to be welded in that now and ground down, and then of course some other spots that need a little bit of attention, but that's okay. So the next thing that I wanted to do was, of course, there's this large void right here in the center of the door. Now, at some point, somebody needed parts from it or whatever, and they took out everything that was in there. Now, because I don't have an original door to go from, I can only use my best guess at deciding what I need to do in order to add structure back into the door, because unfortunately when they took out, you can see where there's a couple holes here, and that held a bracket on the back side, and then of course over on this other edge there's a spot where there's nutserts, and there's bolt holes up here where there's step downs and nutserts, and nutserts down here. So clearly there was a panel on here that would have housed your window crank, just a little bit of support, or I should say a lot of support, because currently now with the way the door is, it you get sag in the door because there's no structure to brace it up into place. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to be able to create a pattern, and again, that's what I did. I'll show you. So this one is going to be a two-step. Okay, I'm just going to give you a rough. This is a rough pattern that I did in paper initially. Again, using the dirty finger technique, which we showed you already how to do that. So this gives me now a reasonably accurate template to mark. And because this is a larger panel and I know I'm going to have to be doing some other working, the paper is good, but I actually wanted to transfer it onto cardboard just so it's a little bit firmer and you're a little bit more accurate once you have a good template done. So I took this and transferred it to cardboard. Hang on. There we go. Now with the cardboard, we can see that that fits in nice and tight, and although it's hard to see up here, there's actually a step down there so that that whole panel will fit in. Ideally, it would have been nice to have a piece of cardboard that was consistent. I got a sneeze coming, excuse me. Without these little bends in it, but this is what I happen to have. That's where if you ever get a new washer and dryer or whatever, save the cardboard, because it sure is handy for doing stuff like this. But anyways, so now the next thing that I'll be working on is designing something here so that I get an accurate pattern. I'll probably be doing some bead rolling on the panel just to give it some additional rigidity. If you just have a flat metal panel like this and it's attached all around, it's gonna flex a lot. So you want to try and build in some reinforcement to that, and you can do that with your bead roller. So I have to come up with the design, but thought I'd just make this short video just to give you an idea of where I'm going next on the terraplane. So once I have a design nailed down, I'll bring you back, and we'll go through the process of creating this panel. I think that'll be something that viewers will find interesting, hopefully, and hopefully very helpful for you too. But for time being, just wanted to bring you in on this preliminary point of working on the doors, and we'll carry through on more videos when I go to do the doors. So when I go to do the door skin on the outside, I'll show you what steps I'm going to use there as well. Anyways, for now, this is Dwayne from Grandpa's Garage, the little garage that could, saying thanks for your support, thanks for liking, sharing, and subscribing, and I hope this is an interesting content for you, and I will be trying to improve my format and content always. One of the other things I wanted to mention was that I've thought I would try something different, and I did a post yesterday and I did a post today. One of the things that I want to do is show a couple pictures of stuff I've worked on or my own personal vehicles that I've done, and add a little story to it. You know, me standing up in front of you right now and just telling you the whole story on things, you might find it interesting, but I thought, well, let's go a little bit different format and do it in a post version. And you can let me know in the comments whether you find that interesting, or if there's some feedback you can give me on whether you think it's a great idea, a terrible idea, or whatever. I don't want to be having people lose interest. I want everybody to be interested, and I want everybody to be able to gain some knowledge or insight on things. But anyways, for now, this is Dwayne from Grandpa's Garage, the little garage that could. Have a great day, folks.